Yeah, hi. Okay. If you'd like to come up, Eran Atlas is from DreamEd. And you have 5 minutes to convince us to write about you.
Thank you. Diabetes. Everybody knows about diabetes, right? It's the biggest chronic disease in the world. 500 million people live with diabetes. Tough chronic disease. I think one of the things that some people don't know is that there is a significant amount of people with diabetes that feel alone all the time. And the reason that they're feeling alone because they need to make a lot of decisions about how much insulin should I deliver right now. And they see the doctor only once every 3-4 months and for 5 minutes, and all the rest of the time they are totally alone. And with all the effort and the money and the huge healthcare costs that we invest in these people, only a small portion of them are seeing these expert endocrinologists, and the majority of them are seeing primary care physicians. And that's why DreamEd Diabetes was founded. We developed a technology called DreamEd Advisor with the intention to provide anywhere, anytime, the ability to recommend how much insulin to dose. That technology was designed by the most premier endocrinologist. We crunch all the data around the diabetes and just provided a very personalized way, how much insulin should you deliver right now? And yes, it's a software that has FDA clearance, and we are the only one that has that FDA clearance in this platform. Our technology is currently deployed in 12 US leading centers in the United States. I'm happy to announce that we're going to deploy it also here in Israel, in Schneider Children's Medical Center of Israel, and we're working very hard to expand our outreach. But that's not enough, because in order to really meet the need that anyone with diabetes will have the feeling that they are not alone, we need to provide that access to everyone, anywhere, anytime, children, adults, anywhere. So we are now going to deliver what we call the DreamEd Advisor Virtual Clinic with a partnership with a telehealth company. And the idea behind it is that it will be a combination of decision support technology and a telehealth service that can provide true care for diabetes and not just coaching and lifestyle that other companies are doing that. In our clinical trials, we found that while using our technology, the level of care is as good as doctors that provide care for diabetes in Harvard University and Yale. So for us, changing the way diabetes is being managed, it's not a dream anymore. We're DreamEd Diabetes, and we're going to make it happen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Amala, we'll start with you. Okay, Amala, if you'd like to respond, would you be interested in that story?
Actually, I will, because you were to the point. I understood what your company is doing, what is your intention. Everything was very clear.
Thank you.
And I think another reason why I would personally be interested in your company is because diabetes is a major problem in Singapore, and our government has recently launched a war against diabetes, and there's a lot of measures that the government is coming up with to solve diabetes. So your company is actually addressing a critical need. And that's why I would be really keen to write on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so one hit there. Adrian.
Yeah, are you the CEO or?
Yes, I'm the co-founder and CEO.
Okay, and are you a business person or are you a software engineer?
None of them. So I'm a biomedical engineer. I've been working in this project for 15 years already. We developed a first technology that was the power behind an automated insulin delivery system that we licensed to Medtronic Diabetes in 2015. And that's our second product that aiming to a much bigger audience in diabetes space.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in general, yes, quite interested. You're a good salesperson. You've got feature benefit down off
Thank
pat.
you.
Yeah, and that's
I'm delivering also, not just doing sales.
All right. Okay. But yeah, you did. You presented with, yeah, you know, I want to buy the car. You know, it's clear what you do, and it would be, I would imagine it'd be easy to talk to you to get a little bit more of the technical guts if I wanted to do that kind of story.
Thank you.
So yeah.
So.
I liked it. Good pitch. Big problem that you're out to address. I've got a couple of friends that suffer from diabetes, and it looks like they go through hell. One thing I'd be interested to know, which I'm not sure if you mentioned, was how many people have actually used this so far?
So right now we have about 300 people in the United States. We just started to launch in mid last year. after we got the FDA clearance and have some small guerrilla Israeli team to do the sales in the United States.
What's the business model? How do you guys make money? Do you charge the people that use the platform?
Great question. So we're now trying to explore two main possible business models. The first one is to go directly to provider and healthcare system, try to solve it as a platform that will help them gain more revenues out of non-face-to-face, non-billable hours that they are spending with their patients, because with using our software, they will be able to create these reports that they can put on claim and charge these CPT codes for remote patient monitoring and non-face-to-face continuous glucose sensor interpretation. So that's one road that we are going through. And the other one is to build this DreamEd Advisor virtual clinic with the telehealth company and try to gain some pilot traction from the market and then packages right and go directly to insurance companies for a program to manage people with insulin-dependent diabetes.
Okay, and just one more thing. In terms of whether I would cover this right now, it sounds like the news that you have is that you're about to launch in Israel, which is cool.
Yeah,
if you were going to launch in the UK, then I would probably write about it. I might just write about it anyway because it sounds like a cool new platform, and people might want to be aware of it.
Thank you.
Frederic.
Yeah, congrats. I think that was probably the best pitch of the morning. So
thank you very much.
To the point. You are getting a free ticket to our crowd next year.
I'm a portfolio company. I already got that. Maybe they will invest.
Do they get a free ticket to TechCrunch, though?
I am not in charge of that, but talk to me. Talk to me afterwards. We'll make something work. No, I think so. I'm not a health tech reporter, but I think it was kind of a very clear pitch. It's clear to me what you're doing. There is that part towards the end where you talked about not just launching in Israel, but
the virtual clinic.
The virtual thing. And I think that probably should have come right at the beginning. If this was an email, I'm not sure I would have read all that far down into the email. So I would have said that really early on.
Okay,
because to me, that is the news, because that is even somewhat actionable for a reader to say, oh, I want to look into this for myself, which is important in a story. That there's something a reader can actually do with that. But otherwise, well done.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so who has a disaster story they'd like to share? Yeah, Adrian?
Well, I was just thinking.
We all do.
I know. Should I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of the worst thing to do, and it does happen occasionally that you'll get a pitch related to a news event, and God forbid that anybody wrote something about how sensor technology might have alerted security forces in London, when the Grenfell Tower, if you know that disaster. So I'm just thinking today. I'm not sure. I think I may have seen something related to Mobile World Congress, and if somebody is using that as a news angle hook vehicle, then that's just a no-no. So people don't know where the line is sometimes.
Right. Okay. So good taste is necessary. Okay. Sam?
Yeah, don't offer comment on a terror attack if you are a food tech startup. That kind of thing is what you're getting at. The other thing I would just say is if we don't reply to your email, it's just don't keep sending the same email. Don't keep following up 3, 4, 5 times because it just drives us crazy. And don't leave kisses in emails as well. I've had that a few times. Not too often, but once or twice, and it's just weird.
Frederic.
XOXO. I often get pitches where people ask me how much money it costs to post the content that they already pre-wrote for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is not going to happen.
Yeah. And it's also very expensive.
Yeah. I always tell them it's at least 100K. That scares them off usually. And if they give me 100K, we can talk about that. But it's no. So that happens a lot. There's one thing, and I think I said this in another panel last year, where somewhere there's a manual online that says start your email with some article you read from that person. And it's often, I just read this amazing piece from you that you wrote last week, which is a news story you spent about 10 minutes on or 20 minutes on, which is definitely not great. It's good, but it's not great. And then tells you about the trying to pitch you something that has nothing to do with that story. Right. And that happens multiple times a week. So if you do that, stop doing it. It's not working.
Amala, do you have any?
Actually, what Frederic said just reminded me of something. So I received a pitch from somebody who said, "Hi Amala, great article. You are doing a great job." And when I spoke to my colleagues, they said they received the same pitch from the same person with that same starting line. So please, yes, some creativity will be good. But actually, if I may just say an observation from today's pitches, sometimes each of you, what you are doing as a company is very, very interesting, but unfortunately, the way in which the content is presented does not bring that interesting element out. So I would just like to say that maybe focus a little bit more on distance yourself from your company and see why somebody else who's not in that industry should care about this. Why should they invest in this? Why is this technology something that is unique? Because every day we are receiving numerous pitches which pretty much say the same thing. So please tell us why we should actually care. Yes.
I always, when people ask me how they should pitch, I always say, imagine you're attracted to me. Okay, it's a tough one, I know, but just let's go there. Imagine you're attracted to me and we meet at a party and you are trying to impress me with what your company is doing, right, in one line. I actually think that's the perfect kind of sense of the pitch. You really are just trying to grab someone's attention and make them love you for long enough to write about you. That's really what it's all about. We have time for a question, if there are any questions to the panel, and if not, we're going to wrap this up and not be late. But no, let's have a question here.
I would say follow up once if you need to. That's it.
Okay, well, you're allowed once. You're allowed once. Okay, any other questions?
My response on that.
Oh, yeah.
My response on that is when people send me an email relating to an email saying, "Did I get the email?" And I did. So, you know, my email works. Yours probably does too. And that is a personal thing. I do know that there are other journalists who say, "Oh yeah, well done for flagging that." So I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but I can't work like that. You know, if it's, we will have read through stuff and reviewed what's usable.
Yeah, follow up once, and yes, your email works. So I know that. I know it's a trick almost of the trade to say, "Oh, I think my email ad didn't work last week, so let me get back to you and make sure this comes through." No, I know it worked. It's email. It works.
Okay. One more? Do we have one more question over there? No? Okay. Yes, we do. Okay. Yes. Please shout. Okay, we're going to take a vote here because I know what my preference is. Okay, who votes for the body of the email? In the body of the email? Okay, who votes for an attachment? Who votes for a link? You don't want to press the link.
If it's already on your website, it's too late.
Correct. Yes, that was the right answer. But if I get attachments on emails from people I don't know, I don't open them. I do not open attachments, and I don't open links either. Okay. For me, if you're trying to talk to me, it's got to be right there in the text. But as Frederic says, if it's already on your website, then you missed it. One more, very quickly. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Best day, best time of day. Very
Israeli
quickly.
companies do not email on Sundays. I'm saying that because I get a bunch of pitches on Sundays. By the time I wake up on Monday, they're buried deep, and then people complain.
Anyone
I
has
didn't
a
read them.
preference as to time?
I think we're getting stuff from Australia through Israel to California, and so it's irrelevant. It's constant. So it doesn't really matter what time of day. What day of the week is a good question, and I don't know. Never really thought about that. Friday is probably the worst day in UK terms because we may be winding down. So yeah, that's all I'd say.
I like emails in the morning before I go to a news meeting, so around 7 to 8:30. And at the start of the week, you probably got more chance of landing something.
Okay. Amala, do you have any
I
preference?
don't think it's a matter of time or day. Just as long as the pitch is suited to what my beat is, I'll definitely look at it.
Okay, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you to our panel. Thank you.